Ladies and gentlemen, we just finished a very, very candid discussion about No Child Left Behind. I want to thank everyone that came to the press conference today, but I also want to thank one of my favorite secretaries, Margaret Spellings, for coming down and taking this issue on, traveling all over the country talking about No Child Left Behind. Because if you look back to where Alabama was just a few years ago and you compare that to where we are today, I'm not too sure we would have ever made those giant strides if it had not been for President Bush and Margaret's leadership. So I just want to thank you again for being here. And ladies and gentlemen, give the Secretary a warm Alabama welcome.
I was your favorite secretary downstairs. Now I'm one of them.
Well, I've got to meet with Bert Kempthorne tomorrow.
I see.
About water wars.
Well, as Governor Riley said, we had a terrific conversation downstairs about No Child Left Behind, you know, how these sacred core principles are working. Commend Alabama on the terrific results. Really a national leader in reading. That's not an accident, is it, Joe? Morton has been a terrific partner. But we know there are some things we can do to make the law work better, and that's the conversation that we had. I'm thrilled to be here, and, you know, as Joe said, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention, the reason that this is happening here in Alabama as it is because it's been embraced, there's strong leadership, there's a commitment at the state level in addition to the federal commitment, and we are moving out. We are out of denial and on the move. And we have the results to show for it. The good news is I think there's a lot of similarity in the conversations I'm having around the country about some of these key issues. I mean, you heard a lot of amens about this growth idea. You heard some real recognition that we can improve on the supplemental services and the tutoring stuff with respect to the quality and the alignment with what's going on in the school day. I mean, that's something Joe and I can get to work on right away, and we will. We've talked about things that relate to high schools. Tommy Ledbetter, who's been involved with the First Ladies Helping America's Youth Initiative. I mean, things we can do to make sure that the research-based reading principles continue to happen in our high schools. So there's a lot of very actionable, specific stuff that can happen together in this last year in the presence in my administration, and I'm committed to do that, and look forward to working with Joe and the governor and his team down here.
It also points out another thing that we need to concentrate on. We're about to start our session next week, but programs like the Reading Initiative and AMSTI and Distance Learning and Pre-K, we have to make them a priority. We have made too much progress in the last few years to ever begin to retreat or go back.
Amen. And part of that is the federal government obviously has to do its part. We're a minority investor in education at about 9%, but one of the things that they actually, I got some applause on, is the president is committed to ask for and, God willing, get the full $1 billion for Reading First. The Congress took a 60% cut to this program. It has been essential to the results that you're seeing here, and so it's a team effort, right, Governor?
Absolutely. Joe, would you like to just say a few words about No Child Left Behind? How you think it's impacted the state?
I have told the Secretary privately, and I've told Superintendents of Education publicly in Alabama that our state has overall benefited by No Child Left Behind. We heard from the trenches in your meeting downstairs where teachers gave testimonials, actually, about what it had meant to their classroom and individual students that we focus on every child. We publish all the assessments of all children by demographic groups. We don't do averages anymore. Our state is better off because of it. And what I applaud the Secretary about is that she's going around the nation to get ideas from the trenches, from the classrooms of America, on now how might we improve the law. Yep. By her admission, the law's not perfect, and by her admission, few laws are, and I would agree with that. So if you pass a law, you run the law for 5 years, and you step back and say, okay, what did we do right? What needs to be improved? And now let's get on about improving. And I think that's what this trip exemplifies, that we are going to try the best we can to improve that law. But by the same token, we have benefited. We are a better state educationally because of that law and the embracement of improving education overall by the leadership of Alabama, starting with Governor Riley, The legislature has embraced our programs, the Reading Initiative, the Math, Science, Technology Initiative, and Distance Education. We're making a launch now to expand pre-K. Those are initiatives that really change the landscape of public education. And when you get federal and state leadership on the same page and get adequate funding, I mean, my job gets a lot easier. Well, I take that back. My job gets a lot harder. But it really is the way it's supposed to work.
Exactly.
And it's just a unique opportunity we have in this state to keep trending up. And we're on the rise. I mean, the statistics don't lie. Even though Secretary admitted when she looked at our numbers on fourth grade reading, she said there had to be a mistake. But she was really just making sure.
Yeah.
And then she sent that memorable email to the governor on September the 25th that said, phenomenal results on fourth grade reading.